many things that the Sharia of Islam establishes and guarantees in a way that no other law establishes and guarantees, right? And once again, this is like one of the topics also that you see the people of disbelief. They describe the Sharia as backward and barbaric, and really this is just propaganda, because they want to hide the fact that the law that exists in all of these Western nations, in these Western social democracies, which operate upon usury interest, the way these nations operate basically is that you have the private bank, the central bank. They will give loans to the government, and the government will guarantee these loans by way of bonds, and these bonds represent the people and their labor, right? So the people in the population and their labor, their future labor, is the collateral that's being used to give the bonds to whoever, in order to receive interest-based loans, right? So then all these other institutions are set up, like you have like the Inland Revenue, the HMRC, then you have the police, then you have, they serve that banking purpose. That's what they are there for in reality, right? They are there to protect that setup. And so the people are just used as cattle in order to exploit their labor, to pay the interest to pay the interest in the form of taxation, to pay to the private bankers, right? That's the how all of these nations, that's how they operate, right? And as for the law is purely commercial, right? All law all crimes are commercial. They're treated as commercial crimes, right? They're not like haqq and batil and truth and falsehood and justice and injustice. They are treated as everything's treated commercially. So this is how these nations are run. And then on top of it, they have like a decoration of like democracy, and we vote and we put people in power. But the reality is, as these bankers themselves say, give me control over a nation's money and I care not who make its laws, right? So no matter who is in power, it makes no difference. Labour, Conservative, Democrat, Republican, all of this is just it's a pantomime on the front. Right? What really counts is who is issuing the money, who's giving the credit and issuing the money to the government, right? That's where the real power lies. So in reality, all these nations really, they are just, the way they operate in a modern sense, they are just basically slave plantations to tax people in every way possible, for the enrichment of certain people. And that's what it is in reality. But then what the people do who are in charge of this, in order to hinder them from truth and guidance and from the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is that they will make the followers of the prophets and messengers to look backward and barbaric and portray the most evil image possible, because what does Islam call to? It wages war against the riba, against usury, right? And it gives women multiple layers of protection from exploitation, right? And in different ways, as you see them being exploited in these countries, right? In many different ways, where they, under the guise of giving them freedom, they encourage them to go into workplaces with men and neglect looking after raising children, and they think they're receiving freedom. Really, the reason why they were took out of the home is because these bankers wanted to tax both the man and the woman. Why should the woman stay at home when we can tax, get double the tax, and to serve our interest, right? So these are the realities that we don't get taught and told. So all of these like movements that you see that appear in these Western societies, feminism, women's liberation, this, that, and the other, right? It's all for commercial exploitation. That's all it is. So once you move and you abandon the book of Allah and the revelation of Allah, and you then become enslaved, because the Sharia liberates and frees you, right? Liberates and frees you, right? From servitude to men, to debt usury, to, like so many different things, to false beliefs, false ideas. It liberates you. It allows you to have private property. You control, you have the rights to the fruits of your labor, right? As opposed to socialism and the way these countries run, where they take money from others to give it to to others who don't work. The ones who work, take it from them and give it to the ones who don't work. Right? This is like a socialist system. This is why, as we said, that when the messengers come to liberate the people with the haqq, with the truth, then the chiefs of the people of disbelief, who have the most to lose if people abandon being enslaved by them, right? Then these people are the most enmitous and the most fierce against the messengers and their call. And that's why today you see like much of the lies and the fabrications against the people of Islam and the lands of Islam, lands of the Muslims. This is why you see that. But anyhow, the Shaykh said, reflection upon the ayat which we observe and see, the creational and the legislative, right? And that's why to understand Allah's laws and to understand what He has legislated in various